Hi, I'm Gail and welcome back to lowcarbrecipe.ideas.com. Summer's almost over. I haven't done many videos this summer, which I've explained in the last couple of videos, and I'm not even sure if I'm going to be able to keep up in September, but by October I should be back on track. Anyway, today we're going to make a low-carb cabbage burrito. Something simple, and I think you're going to enjoy it, so let's get started. I have a pound of lean ground beef in my skillet, so I'm just heating that up. And what we're going to do is I have a half of medium-sized onion chopped, just to give it that nice flavor. I love onions in ground beef. And I have 2 cloves of crushed garlic. Now we're just going to cook this up until it's brown throughout, and let that flavor go through the ground beef. Once I've got that done, then we will drain the grease out if we have some grease. I've drained the little bit of grease that I had from the ground beef, so now we're going to add a tablespoon of taco seasoning. And you can make the taco seasoning yourself, or you can buy the little packages. Food Basics has Selection No Name brand. Then there's El Paso, I think that's what they call that brand. So there's lots to choose from, and using a tablespoon isn't very much. So we're going to put that spice in here. Then I've taken a normal size yellow pepper. You can use any kind of pepper you want. I don't really like the green ones. I find they're bitter. So I like the yellow ones, the red ones, and the orange ones. And then we're going to add in black beans. Now this is a 15-ounce can of black beans. So we'll put that in there. And then I've got a cup and a half of cherry tomatoes that I cut in half, and we're going to throw them in. I probably could have cut them into quarters because my cherry tomatoes were sort of big and they look like they're sticking together. There we go. So we're going to heat this all up, then I'm going to set it aside and we'll start working on our cabbage. Yeah, they all stuck together on me here. Yeah, nice and colorful. So my lettuce was getting a little shrivelly in the fridge. I had it in a plastic bag just to have it last a little bit long in the fridge. And what I did was I peeled off the leaves, which sometimes can be hard if you have a really fresh and crisp cabbage. But all I did was cut the base off the bottom with the knife, which just breaks the leaves, and then you just start working at it. Now this one here, I thought I could do it show you the effort, but it just kind of fell off when I was doing it, so that didn't work so well. But you see I've got it cut here. I just wiggle it around and they come off. Some of these are getting pretty small, but I got quite a few leaves out of it. So that's the beginning of my cabbage. So now we're going to blanch the leaves so that they're flimsy so we can roll them up. So my water's already been boiling. I've just turned it down a little bit. And all I'm going to do is take my leaf and I'm going to put it in there and blanch it for about 30 seconds. That's my plan, so hopefully that all works out. And then we will put them on a paper plate on paper towel just to help dry it up a little bit. So I'm just going to do 3 at a time, and then we'll finish up with the rest of them. So I actually kept them in for about a minute because I really felt I got the water boiling a little bit more, and I think that's what it sort of needed. And the rest of the cabbage I will steam, slice it up and steam them because I love cooked cabbage. Just love cooked cabbage and I don't want to waste it. So we'll do that for another minute and then we're going to get ready to show you how to put it together. So I've taken all the cabbage leaves out and I'm just going to let them sit there and dry. They won't take long to dry because they're so hot they'll evaporate. So next thing we're going to do is go back to our meat mixture, and I forgot to put in the salt and pepper, so I'm using Himalayan salt here. And you just, for taste, I don't really have a measurement on it. Now you could put more taco seasoning in it, that's up to you. This is pretty mild, and now we're going to, when we put everything together, we're going to be adding cheese and melting it, which will make it delicious. So I've made a couple already. I'm just going to wrap them up like I do cabbage rolls. So I'm just going to take it at the end here. And then I've got about 1.5 cups of cheese that I've shredded, and it's a mixture of a whole bunch of different brands, different kinds. Monterey Jack and cheddar, and yeah, there's a variety there, but you can use any kind of cheese that you'd like. Gotta use my hands here. Just keep the sides tucked in. There we go. They can look a little sloppy, but they're still really good. And one thing I must mention to you, I used a no-name brand of taco seasoning, and when I tasted it was pretty plain, so I added an extra tablespoon of the taco seasoning. So that gives it a little more flavor. I got too many tomatoes in the one. So I'm just going to keep repeating this technique to wrap them up, and make sure you keep it to the edge, flip in your sides. The bigger leaves are nicer. It's just like cabbage rolls, except I'm not putting the toothpick in. And I'm going to put them in the oven at 350 for approximately 10 minutes, and they'll be ready to eat. And you can pick them up and eat them by hand, or if you need to use your knife and fork, you can do that also. So I'll just keep making them and then I'll get them ready for the oven. So I just wanted to show you, I had 2 small leaves here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to overlap it, get it spread out so that I get some use out of the whole thing. So I'm making it a bigger leaf. Get the rest of my stuff in here. I have a little bit of ground beef mixture left, so I'll just be nibbling on that on its own because I have no more cabbage left. So let's see how I can do this. Pick up the other one. It's a little finicky, but you can do it. It just takes a little bit of time. There you go. So I've made 8 of them. I have a little bit of meat left in the pan and a tiny little bit of cheese, which I probably could have put, I could have done one more if I had more cabbage. Anyhow. They're going to go in the oven, 350 for 10 minutes, just so we can melt the cheese, and then we will try them out. So I cut the low-carb cabbage burrito in half so that you can see, and plus I think it'll be easier for me to eat. Very good. I'm glad that I put the extra tablespoon of seasoning in it, taco seasoning, because it needed it. It's still very mild, but it's got really tasty, especially when you put the cheese in there. The cabbage is a little crunchy, but you're basically eating a little bit of meat and lots of vegetables and good things. Lots of fiber in the black beans. So if you want to go to lowcarbrecipe.ideas.com, you can try this low-carb cabbage burrito and try some of my other recipes. And hopefully I'll be filming a little bit more often. You take care and I'll see you soon. Bye now.